What's up guys, welcome back to Aquatic Elements. Today we are in North London checking out this 25,000 litre koi pond, and we're also going to be checking out some indoor aquariums as well. First off, we're going to head inside, check out the aquariums, and then we're going to come back outside and take a look at this koi pond. We're going to be looking at the filtration, the fish, the setup, and we're going to be doing the same for the aquariums as well. So let's head in and check them out. So coming inside, we've got 4 different aquariums to see before we go outside to see that stunning koi pond. Now the first tank, you can see we've got 3 aranda. So these are run slightly differently from the conventional aquarium. You'll notice on all of the aquariums that we see, they're really low stocked, and they have a very thick substrate, apart from the one just to my left. I'm trying to eliminate all of the glare from the windows. I think this is going to be the best angle. And that's because these tanks are run on a deep substrate. So they're actually run to try and replicate some anaerobic bacteria, which helps remove the nitrates, where you get the full completion of the nitrogen cycle. So first off, we've got the Aranda aquarium. You can see all of the roots in there and the little light as well. And we've got this huge Monstera deliciosa alongside some, I think we've got Pothos, Tridoscanthia. We've also got a peace lily in there as well. Now these tanks are run to be really low water change systems. So the owner's not going to be doing much filter cleaning, not much water changes, and have really low maintenance systems. Next up, we've got this angel aquarium. We've got a white angel. Looks like we've got some blue zebras in with some bogwood. You can see it's got a little bit of a yellow tinge with the tannins coming out of the bogwood. This tank is run slightly differently. We've got a sponge filter, and then we've got the overhead filter as well. But nice simple tank. I think we've got bristlenose tucked in the wood there. Now let's go and check out a couple of the other fancy aquariums. Coming onto the next tank, we've got another deep gravel substrate. You can see compared to my hand, we've got probably a good 4 inches of gravel, creating the anaerobic conditions for the bacteria. We've got quite a few, I think they're trumpet snails in here, along with this single Aranda, which I think was a tricolour at one point, but he's slowly fading to that orange and white. And then we've got one of the dual bioflows in the back, and you can see that we've got an airlift system where we've got an airline down the bottom with an air stone on it, pulling the water through the gravel, keeping the water crystal clear and replicating the anaerobic conditions to reduce the nitrates. And it is definitely doing a good job, because I've heard that this fancy has been in the owner's residence for 3 years now. And we've obviously got the peace lily up the top and the Pothos as well. And he said that the nitrates are still visible, but they're very low. So it's definitely working, and a really interesting way to filter tanks. You don't see this very often. You don't see the deep gravel substrates, the deep sand beds. It's a very old school, old fashioned way of filtering tanks, but it works, and it's clearly doing the job here. Now you don't really see fancy goldfish and deep sand substrates working because they do sift through it, but we've got quite a coarse gravel on top, and the owner has been keeping fish for many decades, and it's clear that it works. Now coming onto the last tank, which is probably my favourite, we've got a few different peace lilies, Pothos and Monstera at the top, and then in the tank we've also got some submerged plants. You can see we've got a few different cryptocoryons, and then we've got those 3 Aranda. Now these aren't super high grade, but this one here and the one below it is definitely a pretty good quality fish. They've got really nice fins. They hold themselves in the water really well. I'd say this has got to be my favourite fish in the tank. Really nice swimming pattern. We've got the good dorsal, lovely caudal fin, good body shape, and the younger fish with a little bit less wen, which is the sort of jelly bit around the head, for those of you who don't know. And you can see we've got that root system in there. We've also got some albino cories helping to clean up in the tanks. Now this one is run on the deep sand substrate or deep gravel substrate. We've also got a little hang on back or hob filter where we've got the surface skimmer, keeping the surface nice and clean, and then we've got a few sponges in there just for mechanical filtration. But overall, very interesting to see these more naturalistic style of aquascape or naturalistic style of aquarium, utilising the anaerobic bacteria. You can see the temperature of the tank just there, 23.5 degrees. But using those conditions to really keep the water quality in an optimum condition for the fish. But we're going to be seeing a slightly different way of filtering water with the koi pond as we head outside, because that's got some pretty high-tech equipment on it. So let's head out and let's check that out. Now, coming outside after seeing those indoor aquariums, we are back once again at the koi pond. Now, the owner of the koi pond and also the aquariums didn't want to be on video, unfortunately, but he did relay loads of information about this pond to me, which I can share with you guys at home. And obviously not everyone wants to be public about the fish that they keep. So we have a 25,000 litre koi pond. Now it's around 1.2 meters deep, and you can see we've got a lovely collection of fish. Now I'll come on to the fish in just a moment, but we're going to speak a little bit more about the actual construction, and then we're going to head over into the filtration house, which is just at the back of the garden there. But first off, let's have a look at this dual aspect pond window, which is really, really cool. Looks like both of the windows are around the 2 meter length, I'd say. And it's a concrete construction. We've got insulation, and then we've got the fiberglass inside. Now it is a very, very quiet koi pond, and that is because all of the filtration is in the filter house at the end of the garden. We've also got 2 bottom drains taking all of the waste out, and you'll notice that the water is super, super clear. The clarity is absolutely phenomenal, and that is just down to the filtration that they've got running on this system, which we will cover in a few minutes. So coming back onto the fish, the main feature of the video, we've got a mix of different fish, and I've been told that quite a lot of them are from Cutterbrook Koi Farm up in Oxfordshire. We've also got some from Akahana Koi, and I believe A4 Koi as well. Now, some of these fish are very, very big. I would say the largest is probably this Chagoi right here, which I've got to say is getting on to the 80 centimetre mark. Really, really nice body shape. We've also got a mix of Kigoi, Mukashi Ogon, got an Asagi, Hiatsuri, lovely Deutz Karashigoi there, as well as the Ogons, Kajaku, and they are super, super friendly. Just coming up to the window here. Now I know we've got a little bit of limescale on the outside of the window, but you can really see all the different fish there. Really, really nice pond, and the wall is actually quite low to the ground. I'd say it's only around 60 centimetres off the ground, which gives you a really, really nice viewing pleasure. You can see all the fish come straight up. Got really, really nice kahaku, and they are definitely looking for a bit of food. So we will give them a bit of food on camera, and you can see them all splashing about. Now the ponds are brown. I think it's about 22 degrees at the moment, so the fish are nice and active. And all looking really happy and healthy. So you'll see in the distance, it does go on for around, I'd say it's probably about 5.5 meters long. And then we've got the polycarbonate, which covers it in the winter time to keep the heat in. So let's go and check out in the filter room. And we're also going to see what else is in there, because there are a few other fish in the filter room. And then we can come back out and finish up the video out here. So giving you another shot of the pond from this angle. You can really see that water clarity. 4 feet of depth. And this sankey is absolutely lovely. I believe that is a sockeye fish. Now heading through to the filter room, you'll probably be able to hear in the background, it's pretty noisy in here. And the first thing we come to is this drum. So the pond has got a Burton's drum which runs the system. Now this removes all of the mechanical waste from the water. If you're not familiar with drum filters, they've got a really fine screen. Try and lift up the lid and take a little look inside. So you can see we've got a really fine screen, a fine mesh, which filters out all of the particulate waste in the water. And then we've also got our UV ballasts. So this pond has 2 amalgam UVs which run inside the filter, and it's actually only running on one. You can see we've only got one turned on at the moment. So the 25,000 litres is absolutely crystal clear in the end of summer with only 40 watts of UV, which is phenomenal to see. We've also got our air pumps up there. They look like the Evolution Aqua air pumps. And then we've got a different pipe work. So you can see we've got 2 pipes there running through to that inch pressure pipe, which actually runs the moving bed filter. So coming on from the drum filter, just before we get to the moving bed, we've got a HMA filter. So we've got a 5 micron pre-filter along with the big blue full of carbon. And then coming through, you can see this is the moving bed filter. Now I've been told there's around 1,000 litres of K1 in this system, providing the biological function to the pond. So all of the waste produced by the fish is going to be removed by bacteria living on that K1. And then coming up from there, we've got a massive fiberglass shower filter with this plant on it. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this is called Mind Your Own Business, I believe. Feel free to correct me down in the comment section. So we've got the water trickling through this, and it is filled with pumice media and also lava rock as well. So we've got a massive amount of biological filtration running this system. And you can see we've got the 4-inch pipes just down there, which run from that drum filter into the biological section, which is actually a big fiberglass tank. Now I just missed the bottom drains. So we've got the 2 feed-in bottom drains and the waste out of the drum, which is that middle one. So the water's feeding in from those drains. You can see this drain here has the valve slightly closed, and I believe that's due to balancing out the drains, because one drain is obviously 3-4 meters away from the other. You're going to have a slight pull imbalance, so you can keep them both nicely balanced there, drawing in the same amount of water into the filter. So that's the koi pond filter. And now we come to this little system we've got just here. You can see we've got a huge amount of emergent plant growth out the side. Now, I believe that's a triloscanthia. Feel free to let me know if I'm correct or incorrect in the comments. And then I think we've got a peace lily as well. We've also got an auto feeder, which is feeding some more fancy goldfish. So we've got a little mix of veil tails and aranda in this pond. Very similar to the tanks you saw inside. Now this is a little koi vat or a koi tub, and I believe these are around 500 litres. And we can see we've got a little makeshift, I think that's an FX6 outlet with these small little filters. So the water's pumping down into this little fine mesh. I guess it's like a fine sieve, catching all of the physical debris, and then it's heading down into all of the pumice media. Now let's take a look in the other filter. Yep, we've got exactly the same again, really fine mesh down into that pumice media. So, and I've just noticed actually, it's in a little JPD koi food tub. So lovely DIY filter there. Not something I've really seen done before. So we've got 2 old JPD koi food tubs sitting on this little crate. The water's pumped up from that probably 1,500 litre per hour pump into the 2 tubs, and then it trickles down and exits out of the bottom back into this system. Now it does look like there is a bottom drain. I don't think you're going to be able to see that on camera, but I don't think that's in use. And then back onto the fish, we've got a few veil tails. You can see the sort of calico veil tails, and then a few Aranda. There's also a black telescope in there as well, which probably is not going to get picked up on camera. But a nice little system, and we've got a few airlines running in that. Really, really simple. We've got our main biological and mechanical filter there, and then we've also got all of those plants which are removing the nitrates and phosphates, and then a really nice low stocked tank. So that's the filter room. Let's head back outside to the koi pond. Coming back out to the koi pond, there's a few little bits we missed here. So first off, we've got an air source heat pump which runs the system. Now I don't know the specific size on this 25,000 litre pond, but you can see, I think it's around a 9.5 kilowatt air source heat pump. And then we've also got the skimmer as well, which is running off I think that's a 3-inch line. And then you've got your built-in overflow as well. So the heater's used for winter just to keep the temperature nice and stable. And then we've got that skimmer to take off any surface debris. And then coming round back to the side, we've got that stunning view through the glass window. That Kajaku is absolutely lovely. Now I'm just gonna sit here and see what fish come along. But you can see we've got really nice quality fish. No show quality, but definitely high quality fish. And some really good body shapes. And everything is looking really, really healthy in the pond. Got a Shirat Suri. Now, as mentioned, most of these koi are from Cuttlebrook, and I also forgot to mention some of them are from Adam Beyer Koi Farm as well. So both of those are English koi farms breeding the fish here, so they're used to our water. Arguably, they're a bit hardier, and maybe there's some places that I should visit and potentially make some videos on in the future, which would be quite nice. But it looks like the sun's going back in, so I'm probably going to wrap up the video there. But let me know down below what you thought of the koi pond and the indoor aquariums, and what you thought of the filtration, and definitely the interesting way to filter those aquariums. More of an old school technique, but obviously very effective. And that is it for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I thought it was absolutely great to see both the indoor tanks and this amazing pond. This really was the feature of the video, and I absolutely love seeing the different collection of koi, and especially having the window element and aspect to this pond. And once again, crystal clear water. If you want to see more videos like this one today, then make sure to leave a comment down below, and also let me know what you want me to film in the future. But thank you all for watching. Remember to keep those water changes up, and happy fish keeping.